Who are we? Are we American? How Korean are we? What is our story? How do we fit into America? I started like every Korean American. We came to this country, we were poor, we worked hard, we struggled. We struggled to find a place in America that was for us. There's a lot of culture things that we lose when we come to America. There's a lot of history that we lose. There's a lot of family stories that we lose and generational stories that we lose. For me, even since I was a little kid, my strongest connection to being Korean was through food. And I know that my grandmother and my mother tries to teach us about Korean food because they know that we'll continue that tradition. That's something that we can pass on. And food is so personal, and it's so direct, and it's so emotional. My daughter, who's 11, comes to me and says, "Halmoni's japchae is the best." Because we go to eat at other restaurants and it's not as good. That to me is so wonderful, to have my mother cook for my daughter and to connect those generations. Even today, when I eat kimchi jjigae, I think about my grandmother because she used to make kimchi jjigae all the time from we had leftover kimchi. And so those memories are so strong inside me. Through food, through a dish, something so simple like japchae. That one dish is creating a connection between generations. That's the power of food for me. When I cook Korean food, to me it feels like I'm telling a story about me, but also I'm kind of thinking back to my ancestors. Food is not just, I'm hungry, we eat, and then we go to sleep. Food is sharing, food is community, food is telling stories, food is teaching our next generation about our culture. To me, obviously, that's one of the reasons I became a chef, is because I wanted to tell my story. I'm not a painter, I'm not a movie maker. My medium is food, it's ingredient. I feel the most free when I'm cooking, and I feel the most happy when I'm creating something. Not only creating something delicious, but something that has a story, that has meaning. When I think of the Korean American experience, I think about generations, and I think about what my parents' generation had to go through, my generation, what we went through. I'm so excited to see the next generation of Korean Americans and their experience and how they will create their own culture, because every generation creates their own culture, they create their own language. I always turn to when my daughter was listening to BTS. I said to her, "Oh, you like Korean music?" And she looked at me and said, "Dad, it's not Korean music, it's just music." It was a very simple sentence, but it was so meaningful to me. It hit me really hard because I realized my generation, we always have to classify things like this is Korean, or this is Chinese, or this is Japanese, this is American. Her generation sees the world so much more globally, and they don't see those categories as much. The next generation is going to be really inspiring. They're going to teach us and show us what they can do, and I'm inspired by how they can take whatever culture we built and then make it their own. My parents and my grandmother sacrificed so much in their life to bring us here and create this path for us. And my responsibility is to make sure that we stay on that path. we all have these really strong roots. We had to come and struggle, and the soil was not good, and the weather was not good, and no one took care of our farms, but we still rose up, and we rose up stronger because of that. There's so much that I want to accomplish, and there's so much that I want to tell my story, and I want to help the next generation tell their story. They can lean on us, they can stand on our shoulders, they can dream bigger dreams than we ever did. Our story's not over. Our story's not finished. If anything, it's really just getting started.